Hello and welcome. This is Paragon RG, and you're watching another daily casted match of Age of Empires 4. In this match, on Mongolian Heights, we have Kasva in the blue, playing as the English. On the northwest side of the river, on the southeast side of the river in the red, we have RecoN playing as the Holy Roman Empire. Both of these players are really quite solid right now. I think RecoN may be higher on the ladder. Is that true? I'm not sure if that's true. But Kasva is a beast. You can't underestimate this guy. He's the kind of player that will not just play a million games. He has some of the, I think one of the highest total number of games played in all of Age of Empires 4. That's not just for pros, it's period. At least last I checked. But he's creative as well. So in that time, he's not just grinding. He's working on different builds and seeing what works. And so it's pretty common to see some pretty interesting play out of him. Now, I don't know how good his English play is. I'm assuming it's pretty good, but I haven't seen enough of it to know what he's up to. So we'll have to find out during the match. RecoN as the HRE looks pretty standard so far. Prelate currently buffing up those food villagers, micromanaging it between the gold and the food location. Could probably have a really nice Aachen Chapel spot here, which he's sure he's identified, which should cover gold, wood, and food. So look, it currently looks like he's racing toward the feudal age for some plan or other. Now he has 2 scouts, and Kasva has 2 as well. Actually, RecoN has 3. Oh no, it's probably the prelate that counts as a military unit. So both 2 scouts. So they've both elected to not build a villager in place of a scout so that they can find sheep. I can say almost getting some sheep here, but it looks like he turns around in time and we'll get a pretty nice catch. So yeah, both players just trying to scout as much as they can, trying to grab as many sheep as they can. I can't remember for sure, but I think this map has a pretty good overall quantity of sheep. This is Mongolian Heights. I think it would make sense if that were true thematically. I do see each side with a good number of them, but I feel like there's supposed to be a pocket somewhere of just like a ton of sheep, but maybe that's just on certain spawns of this particular map. RecoN now is enough to click up. There goes the Aachen Chapel. And that's lovely. This gives even farther left means that as he chops through the forest, his villagers will continue to gain that bonus for quite a while. For quite a while indeed. Actually, sheep hanging out here. Sometimes I get frustrated by this. Like, wait, didn't I grab this sheep? Like, how is there a sheep right beside my base? In a game like AoE 2, you could just run over, your villager could grab it if you wanted, but not in AoE 4, which is what we're playing. Some more sheep coming home for RecoN. 1 villager on gold here. Trying to figure out if he's up to anything special in particular. Let's look at Kasva. So, Council Hall. Shouldn't be too surprised there. Will it make some... And there it is. There we go. Can I double click these? 17 sheep sitting here for Kasva. So, definitely nice sheep advantage for him if it comes to it. Having that extra food under your town center can be a pretty big deal, and you can even put them behind or somewhere like this, something really safe. And you have a safe food source for much of the game. 250 food on each one of these. So yeah, more than 4,000 food right here. It's actually pretty cool. So the scouts met up for Kasva and are currently trying to burn down the buildings of RecoN. Now you can see he is sometimes using that animation canceling, so you'll he has stopped, but you'll see them move sometimes between attacks, which lets them throw their torches a little earlier. This will very likely be fixed in the February patch, but we are not lucky enough to get a fix just yet. In the meantime, it is currently being treated as fair game for all players to use. I think in particular, just because it's hard to do anything. It's hard to truly know. Oh, look at that clutch use of emergency repair. That's always frustrating. I think people forget Holy Roman Empire get this. And then... Yeah, it's so useful. Well, totally lost the train of thought on that one. Trying to cause damage doesn't really end up causing any. Stable up now for RecoN. Adding a couple of horsemen. Let's check his... I was going to say check his mill. He doesn't have a mill. Sometimes you'll see an HRE player place a mill. It doesn't have to be on the berries. Just somewhere where they know they want farms later. Like imagine there was a mill here. Later in the game, you put farms around it, and those will all be near the chapel, which will give them a nice gathering bonus. Looks like those horsemen are going to exist to deal with longbows. So we'll have to see how effective they are at that. Horsemen having been buffed recently to have 2 pierce armor instead of 1. So, more popping out. We'll see when he decides to move out, when he feels safe enough to do that. If I had to guess, I don't think Kasva is going to feel very safe at all with only 4 longbows right now. More coming out, but he is adding spears now as well. A little tricky. I think spears counter horsemen harder than horsemen counter archers. There's a couple reasons for that. One is just that the archers can kite, so they can kind of duck behind spears, for example. Keep shooting. Little scout battle. Lots of the old animation canceling being used. Kasva getting the better of that engagement. Mustering a decent little force. 6 longbows, 2 spears. Feels safe enough to start pushing out now. And this is definitely not enough horsemen to deal with that. Now, 2 of them are out here. Going to deal with this wolf so this villager can get home safely, presumably. This must have been the one building the wall up here. Now, I have not been watching closely enough. Doc has come down from RecoN.
Yeah.
Okay, with a single galley. I was going to say, I don't see any fishing ships. So, just trying to guard this pass. Did he get any damage in? I bet it was just too late. Slightly too late. I don't see any damage. This is Yeah, this is exactly the force I pointed out before he was at the river. So, I'm guessing the next set of troops here will be rather surprised by a galley, and in fact, that spearman turns away immediately. May have to take a longer route to get to his opponent. Lots of horsemen now coming in. Ooh, this is hard to say. How does this go? Spearman's so effective against the horsemen, but once horsemen actually do get in the longbows, you know, they will go down very, very quickly. Yeah, needs to target down the weak ones here. Yeah, the horsemen have it. That's really interesting to watch. I think there may have been a reinforcement of 1 horseman during that battle, but once they get in on the longbows are no longer doing the damage they need to be doing to kite. Maybe they just need more to pull it off. But what that means is the horseman, like every extra... I'll put it this way. If a horseman survives and gets 1 extra hit off, well, that's like a third of a longbowman gone because they do so much damage to them. Let's take a quick look at that. So 9 damage, plus 9 versus ranged. 70 hit points. So they do 18 damage against 70 hit points. So I guess a quarter. So every hit from a horseman is a quarter of the damage you need. This is so annoying. Well done by RecoN. Just guarding this pass entirely, forcing Kasva to put up an outpost here. Now, it's not the end of the world for him. He does get bonuses anyway from having, you know, when he's fighting near his outposts, he gets that network of castles bonus, and all of his troops will attack a little bit faster. Outpost here as well. Looks like it's been given arrow slits, firing away at this dock. So it remains to be seen how effective this dock is. Now, I didn't see what happened here, but I'm guessing a villager was killed trying to build this. The problem is they disappear into the shallows. You don't get to see a corpse, so it can be a little difficult to tell. So RecoN going to take this. Yeah, pops 1 longbow. Oh, he has a few archers as well. So this is an easy win for him here. Archers really cleaning up spearmen and horsemen doing the job. I have to say, so far, RecoN's composition, like, he's had just what he needs at the right time. The galley hasn't quite worked out. I mean, it has slowed down his opponent from pushing in, which has allowed RecoN to sort of fortify this area. And here comes a villager to finish the wall on this area. Kasva with no longbows to shoot it. That is definitely going to go down. Or sorry, the wall is going to be placed. Should be a little clearer on that. Yeah, Doc just continuing to annoyingly flash on the mini-map. Being fired at every second or so by the outpost. Pretty good massive troops here now. 10 longbows, 8 spearmen from Kasva. Has he clicked up yet or anything like that? Doesn't look like he's anywhere near the next age. He is adding the first ranged attack. Doesn't have siege engineering yet. I think that makes sense. Like he hasn't been winning the battles he needs. So I think siege engineering would be a misallocation of resources. Yep, this galley continued to be annoying. He knows he can go back here and heal it. Actually, maybe he can't. I'm not sure if this thing can range him from here. Let's take a quick look. The galley might be able to hang out just out of range, but it's a little hard to tell. So this galley looks like it's about to go down, and it does. Battle being met in the middle of the map. Horsemen archers versus spearmen archers. I think this is a big part, like, this is what people are trying to figure out in the meta. How do these compositions fare against each other? Because it's not clear just by looking at the stats how this will work. Players need a chance to experiment with it. Let's get ourselves straightened back out. North is up. So far, it's looking like Archer Horseman is a little more capable. Did a gate get added here? It did not. I would be interested to see if a gate got added here, you could loop around with horsemen and harass, and that could potentially really put Kasva on the back foot. In the meantime, though, it's mostly just been basically a troop battle in the center. Neither player has succeeded in really doing any kind of economic damage to the other player, and we can confirm that. 39 villagers to 41 for Kasva. Pretty much the same. Possibly a little bit of idle time for RecoN. I'm not sure what would have caused that. He is now going up to the Castle Age with the Regnitz Cathedral. So there are, looks like, actually 4 relics on his side of the river. So you can see 3 up here in this area. And then 1 down here. Meanwhile, there's only 1 over here. So definitely a better spawn, especially as the HRE. You'd be pretty frustrated to be the HRE up here and to only have 1 relic on your side of the map. It would basically mean you'd have to be aggressive. You'd have to find a way to grab that relic, or you go crazy and do what nobody does and forget the Regnitz Cathedral, throw up the Burgrave Palace, and do some kind of infantry all-in the Castle Age. Maybe that's too crazy. So RecoN here with 17 archers, 21 longbows, 2 spearmen. This is looking pretty mean, and RecoN has to be pretty careful here. Does he have... Oh, look at this being walled off. That's interesting. Where has Horseman? I don't think he can win this battle. RecoN, rather. He doesn't have enough. Like, longbows are better than regular archers. 1 horseman, 2 scouts running in. They will be taken out really quickly by those spears, though. Not that clear to me, unless this is just a stall for the Castle Age, and then maybe wait for a couple of knights to come out. If that's the case, I wouldn't mind... Yeah, okay, here's the first knight coming out for RecoN. Wouldn't mind these archers targeting down the spearmen. Let's see if he manages to do that. He does not. I mean, these archers are going to have a really hard time killing a single knight. So I'd really like to see these spearmen targeted down. In which case, yeah, probably 1 knight could clear up most of these longbows. Or at least drive them all the way home. Looks like the southern wall did get completed. What's happening here? Relic bringing back relic number 1, I think? Yep. Knight taking quite a bit of damage from the longbows. Yeah, I feel like that was a little bit of a squandering of the archers that RecoN had. He needed to save them to kill spearmen, because now he does have veteran archers. There's one knight. Wouldn't be surprised to see another knight or two pop out shortly, wherever the stables is. Now, longbows on the back side of RecoN's base has garrisoned a bunch of villagers, so we'll try to target down these longbows. But you see that damage was very much spread. No longbows going down, except maybe this one in just a minute. Bora doing a marvelous job here. Let's see if the archers do start targeting down the spears. And there they go. I think this is the right call. This knight getting in will do so much damage to these archers. Look at that. Down. But look how quickly he goes down to the spearmen. Needs to be careful with that. These knights are not cheap. Okay, the final spearman going down. This knight will simply be run home at 3 hit points to heal by these prelates. Really nice play from RecoN. Wants to conserve his forces. This dock is now at, what, 3/4 health? Outpost. Doing a good job. 1 arrow a second. 1 damage at a time. 11 villagers out here. If Kasva happened to find this, this would be really bad, and he could potentially pick off prelates as well. An outpost coming down from him, and this one already has arrow slits. So definitely trying to really set up in this middle portion of the map. There's not another direction RecoN can go through except looping all the way down here, or I guess all the way up through this messier area here. So I do like this play from Kasva. He's trying to grab himself the river. This prelate will go down to the spearmen and Bora. Relic does make it a little closer to RecoN's own base. He must have 3... No, he has 2 of the relics. So still, 600 gold per minute is no joke. Kasva is now at the Castle Age, having gone up with the King's Palace. So effectively, he is on 2 town centers now. This landmark acting as a town center. Early men-at-arms now from RecoN. I wonder what his plan is here. Okay, they've reached men-at-arms, veteran archer, knight. Wants 1 more relic. Can probably get it. He actually brought it a little too close to these outposts, so it might be harder to get than you might expect. But that being said, I think he can drive out this force. These longbowmen will be veterans very soon. That is something you have to worry about, and never mind that. Keep going down. Being cancelled. RecoN has chosen this time to push out, so it definitely would have been a bad time for a keep to go down. It doesn't look like these outposts will last very long at all. Archers moving forward to pick off any units that they can. Wouldn't be surprised to see Prelate, here it comes, starting to move forward and grabbing that relic. Remember, that thing is worth 300 gold per minute to RecoN. He really wants that relic. That's like if you could suddenly be given 7 more villagers on gold. Would you take it? I think you would. 4 knights here, 5th one coming in. This force is looking really solid for RecoN. 19 minutes into the game with a, yeah, knight, men-at-arms, veteran archer. Okay, interesting. Kasva is now stonewalling. He is obviously worried about this. The keep he cancelled was placed on his side of that land bridge in the middle of the map. RecoN will find this, and he will turn back very shortly. Already 1 knight going down. Not worth losing another. Almost does, in fact. It's surprising these things do so much damage. I mean, they should do damage, but it doesn't look like they do. But you can still see how much of an effect they have on the battlefield when they go down. So, man, this force is nasty, though. You could still consider looping up around the top. Demo ship here from RecoN. You can see it slowly healing, but slowly it is being destroyed. I guess this prelate is heading up here. More stone walls up here. So Kasva Really, really trying to lock down the map. Looks like enough stone wall went down to block this out, even if this isn't fully constructed. This demo ship will go down any second now. Spearman finding this prelate as well as an archer. So this prelate will go down. Simply shuffling the relic 3 more yards closer to the base of RecoN. Remember, though, his Regnitz Cathedral is full. So that relic is only worth 100 gold per minute to him. So still useful, but nowhere near as useful as the first 3. RecoN starting to replace the outposts that were here with his own. Okay, so I was going to say, what is RecoN's plan? I now see RecoN has clicked to the Imperial Age. I'm assuming it's the Palace of Swabia, and it is. So this landmark is completely insane. It's cheaper to go to the Imperial Age when you choose it, which is crazy because it is already one of the best landmarks in the game. He'll be able to produce villagers 4 times faster at 1/4 the price. So this is like a quadruple TC boom in one as you hit a cheaper Imperial Age. Completely ludicrous. Let's check the villager counts now. 56 for RecoN, 74 for Kasva. So this King's Palace really has come into play here. Looks like all the villagers here were probably the ones trained, constructed, recruited out of the King's Palace. But this is going to get RecoN back into the game so quickly. So remember that discrepancy. 76 on 62, so 14 difference. I think it was 16 a minute ago. Units now coming in for Kasva. Does he have enough here? I think RecoN can just take this battle. I think he can and should just take the battle. These men-at-arms will tank so many hits. Now, there are a few crossbowmen in here, but... Okay, so Kasva does retreat to the safety of his castle. Outpost being repaired, as well as being upgraded to be fortified. So it will get 1,000 health and extra fire armor, so this thing will be very difficult to take down. Possibly, we'll see if he follows it up with maybe a Springald emplacement, something like that. Bombard cannon now coming in. Well played. So this thing will be targeting down this keep. This keep will not last long unless Kasva is determined to keep it up, in which case he can continuously repair it. He can add a siege workshop, and in fact, he can build... It doesn't need a siege workshop. He can build Springalds directly out of this. Right, so one of the interesting things about the English player, all of their military units can be created out of their keeps, which is, I think, an underrated and powerful ability for them. Bombard chipping away. Looks like this is... Oh, that... I was going to say, yeah, there must be villagers behind there. Can't really see them. Slowly making progress on this thing. He's going to say he needs another bombard. Second bombard coming in. I think we are pretty close to some kind of game-ending battle here. If this keep goes down, this opens up the entire center of the map for RecoN to bust through. And I still believe he has a stronger unit composition here. Now, it's going to depend to some degree on how... Oh, demo ships! Maybe not at the right time. But wants to take this area. No one's getting through here with demo ships, although, of course, longbowmen will be able to outrange them. These bombards are paying themselves back here so quickly. Really decisive play from RecoN. You know, made that decision and is just absolutely busting through here right now. Shooting at farms. Build a cannonball on farm action. Looks like he has a Springald as well. A little bit of anti-siege. With the demo ships here, much harder for his opponent to get through. Hulk for him. Not guarding this pass, though. So if a gate is put here, his opponent can still get through relatively easily at this stage of the game. Kasva trying to push out a little bit. RecoN not having any of it. Sets up. Jumps right back into the battle. Ooh, how does this go? It's looking like Kasva has the numbers, but it seems like RecoN has the quality. And in fact, there's now handgunners in the back as well. RecoN pulling back, but I think it's just temporary. I think it's temporary. He knows he has bombards absolutely pummeling his opponent. I think RecoN is really happy with this battle. It may look pretty even, but the simple fact is, like, look at the damage he's done, and there's almost nothing to threaten his bombards either. So, yeah, I mean, these longbows are a pretty strong counter to the demos, so I don't know that the demos are the right play, but these bombards are just going to chip away. I'd almost prefer if they make sure they're shooting kind of one at a time. That way, I mean, each of them will one-hit the unit they fire at. These things are making back their value. I mean, they took out the keep, #1. Followed by every time they shoot, they're, you know, killing an archer. Oof. All right, let's make sure we're not missing anything on the battlefield here. Still veteran longbowman, still in age 3. Veteran archer, not yet at elite, but with bombards, springolds. Villagers here, possibly to maybe add a keep. RecoN has the stone for a keep of his own. And a Carrack. A Carrack coming in, and Kasva calls it. Gunpowder Navy coming down the river, winning the battle in the center of the map. RecoN hammering Kasva. Really solid game along the river here. Folks, this has been Paragon RG. Hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned for more matches, and I will catch you next time.